Hi everyone. I'm going to try to create my first kind of screencast and see how that goes. We've all been using more technology in this COVID time, and of course Zoom is one of those things, which I'm on now. And I'm going to go into share screen to talk about another tool I like, which is Google Classroom. And before I do that, just to show you the share screen, you have some options. And one is one participant can share at a time, and then multiple participants can share simultaneously. With my more advanced student, I use this second choice because then she is sometimes showing me, when we're on Zoom, she's sometimes showing me things that she wants me to look at on her screen as well. But just to go into share screen and then to go to Google Classroom, I'm going to talk about what I like about it, what's on there, and why I've started using this as a part of my teaching during this COVID time. And I think I will keep going with it because I really like it. So this is a class of beginners, people I teach for the, this is the Edmonton Mennonite Center for Newcomers. It's kind of a difficult class in some ways because probably about 20 people turn up every week. I take the absolute beginners, people without any English at all. It's not always the same people, so it's kind of hard to, well, possible to kind of build on what we've done. But I take them into, we go into, at a certain point, I'll have 3 or 4 students and we go into a Zoom room, and then I share screen and take them to Google Classroom. So this is the kind of home page of this class, and I don't here with this particular class because we have no sort of class list. It's just drop-in kind of thing. But I could have announcements here. Students could post things. I could share some kind of resource with the class. The classwork tab is where the kind of meat of Google Classroom is. And this is where you put all of your resources for a particular lesson. I used to do something like this just on a Word doc, but sometimes the links didn't work too well. I might not have as many notes. So just to show you what's there, this is for next week's lesson. I can rename this. One of the things I can do, I have a Word doc, an original Word doc, that I can convert to Google Docs on Google Classroom. And I'll just show you what it is. It's still filled out, I think, from yesterday's class. So we have a kind of warm up every week, and I'm trying to include questions, that we've sort of learned about. We've been talking about feelings, so I always say, how are you feeling? And this is sad, and this is good, or fine, or okay. This is happy, or great. I kind of try to act it out. All they're seeing is this little teeny, square of me. We talked about seasons, so I asked them what season it is. I asked them about the date, and here, yesterday I typed in, it is October. And then I typed in, it was Wednesday, and then I asked them what year it is, 2020, and then of course the full date. And then we had a session on the weather, and so I asked them, what's the weather like today? And then, give them the options: sunny, rainy, snowy, stormy, cold. And then type in, yesterday it was sunny and cold. So that's the warm up, and that's an example of what you can do with a Word doc. I'm going to show you, here's flashcards. Again, as I say, we've been talking about, and I'll go into edit material so you can kind of see exactly what's there. You can post things as material. You have a title, whatever you choose. The description you can put in. And in the description I find kind of useful because sometimes I can say, okay, I just want to use these particular exercises, or this is the reason I'm putting this there. It's kind of for me. You can add multiple things. So here I've added a series of vocabulary flashcards from ESL Library. And here are the kind of thing you can add more here. So I could add a file from my Google Drive. I can add a link to any website I want, upload just a file from my computer or a YouTube video. And I can also create here, if I wanted to, I could create Google Docs, slides, Google Sheets, drawings, forms. There are various things I can create here. I can say who it's for, because you might have multiple classes. I have another class for my tutorial student. So this is for the EMCN beginners. You can specify who it's for. If you have class lists, which I don't for this class, you could say it's for everybody. You could say it's for particular students. And you can also specify the topic, right? So it could go to an earlier class. You could create a new topic here. The topics just function like folders, I guess. And then you can decide to post it. You know, I'm still deciding, sorry, I'm gonna keep moving myself around. Maybe I'll put myself here. You know, you can have a draft, save a draft. If you're not sure you want to post it, you can actually schedule it for the class to start at a certain time, or you can just do a regular sort of post. So I'm going to go into create, because that's kind of interesting. Oh, here, just you can see all the topics that you've done. Okay, go to anyone you want. So to create something new, they have different things, different kinds of things on Google Classroom. One is an assignment. So if I had students in this class, which I don't, but if I had students in this class who were actually getting sort of marked assignments, I could create the sort of link or the document as an assignment, and it would get emailed to them. So that would be useful for certain kinds of classes. Quiz assignment, you can actually create quizzes with this tool. You know, anytime you want multiple choice or open-ended, you can create a single question if you want, that you want to pose to the class. Material is just you're posting something, and that's actually mostly what I'm doing with this class. I'm just posting things because it's not so much that I want them to work on things. I do all the typing. It's just, we just have probably between 45 minutes and, well, 45 minutes usually. So it's a very short class. So and because they're so beginner, we're doing phonics and that kind of thing. So mostly I just post material, and I could say, oh, I've used a post somewhere else, like the warm-up questions. I use this reuse post feature, and I can just, you know, post it in under multiple topics. If I had assigned assignments, I could put a due date on them, and it would sort of go into this sort of class Google calendar. And here too, if any sort of Google Docs that I want to use, I can have a class drive folder. So my other student, who's much more advanced, I guess she's about CLB 7, I create quite a few Google Docs for her through this Google Classroom. It's not the only way to create Google Docs, but it keeps everything together in a nice way. And, you know, I can create Google Docs within Google Classroom, and during the class I just quickly share them with her, and she can work on them from her end as well. We can both work on them at the same time. So that's a good feature. People, I only have one other person here. This is the person who kind of runs the overall conversation class from EMCN. So she can come in if she wants and look at what I'm doing and just see, you know, what's up for that week. She's doing something a little different with the larger class. But then she can just kind of come in and kind of see what's going on. And again, if I were marking people, which I'm not. I could keep all of the assignments would turn up here, and they would have marks and, you know, class names, and it's a sort of great place to keep your marks. And this is just going back and forth to the different classes, and I just have 2 listed here. I find this a really, really useful tool. I love how it gathers everything together. I love how easy it is to use and change and move things around. So if I decide, and say we're doing phonics, if I decide, oh, I want to do that first, it's very easy just to move things around. And this is just a phonic picture image. I could have, you know, keep track of assignments if I were actually doing that, and which were handed in and which weren't. And, you know, keep track with a sort of class Google Calendar of what's happening. It's a really great tool for just keeping all of your materials together, easy links, and it works really well with Zoom. As you can see, we're still in share screen, so I can broadcast with this. I'm just beginning in a way to find out how best to use this, but I know certainly since COVID time and since we're all online, this has been just a great discovery. So easy to use and just a wonderful way to keep all of your documents, links, YouTube videos, whatever you need for your class to keep everything together. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and that's Google Classroom.